boys and girls, we just came from the movies. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba, ba-da-da-da-da.
Da 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 da.
Yes, indeed. We just came from the movies. We saw a movie that I actually had not been very familiar with at all. But I guess you did.
Called Drama.
Drama. And
Drama.
man, was there ever. I gotta
They
preface
did not
this.
disappoint with the drama.
The drama is a love story, or as some may say, is a romantic comedy, but the darkness of the drama seems to drown out the laughter when this couple discovers things about one another 1 week before their wedding that really changes everything, especially how they see one another. And they have to decide if their love is strong enough, deep enough, and do they really know one another like they thought they did, and is this something that they can get past?
So I escaped. I told her before, I prefer to watch movies and television to escape real life. It's an escapism for me. I don't like watching stuff that's going to tether me to reality. And so I should have known that from the name of the movie that this was going to be an issue that would tether to reality.
You know, I want to say that seeing the ads, I only think I saw it one, and I wasn't sure what it was even about. And seeing like the blood on her dress and stuff, I thought it was like a comedy or just something quirky, which it kind of was at times, but it wasn't really a comedy at all.
No, not in the slightest.
Yeah, actually, at one point I said I'm about ready to walk out on this movie, but then I thought I shouldn't do that because how do I even know?
Because you don't like things
ended.
that are embarrassing and awkward, and they had moments.
The whole thing was embarrassing and
Yeah.
awkward and cringy, and as far as somebody who just got a mental health certification to help people, the movie was full of different levels of mental illness.
Yep.
That it's interesting to see the people. Everybody's trying to judge and see what level they're on as far as, oh, you're crazy, you're this, you're that, and they think they're better.
This film centers around two people who just meet in a I guess a coffee shop or some sort in New York City, and it kind of goes on from there. During a happenstance situation where they're sitting down talking about they're doing like wedding stuff, okay, and they decide to kind of go around the table and say, hey, what's the worst thing that you've ever done? And it just sort of devolves from there.
At the end of the day, this came down to everybody sharing what the worst thing they ever did was. And the best man shared, and then when the maid of honor shared, I thought her story was the worst. And I still stick to that opinion. And
There were four people that shared.
Robert Pattinson, being the fiance, couldn't even really think of anything and said he claimed he cyberbullied somebody, and I don't even know if it was true.
Yeah.
Because, he was just a really, really nice guy. When it was time for Zendaya to share, Zendaya shared that she had planned a school shooting, and she had even had a rifle. She was like practicing with her dad's rifle, and actually that's how she got deaf in one ear because the rifle kicked back on her. And so when they realized that she was being serious, it became like, you're the worst person in the world. The maid of honor's like cussing her out because she has a cousin who was injured by a school shooter and is in a wheelchair. But the maid of honor had shared that she had gone into the woods with a special, like a disabled kid when she was younger who was slow and off, and she locked him in this scary abandoned thing closet, like in an RV in the woods, and left him there screaming. And overnight, they found the boy. She never told, it never came back. He never told on her, and she was laughing about it. And so in my mind, the fact that Zendaya actually it turned around, she didn't end up doing it. She regretted it. She became a gun activist to try to stop school shootings. So obviously that's not who she was. Like, she did not do it. But I don't know why she would share with these people that she was going to do it. And of course, she also planned on killing herself at the end. So any child who is that ill and their mind is that broken and their depression is that bad that they are like, I'm going to kill these people who are hurting me and kill myself. That's a different level of sickness in your brain. And so, like, they just decided you're an awful person and you don't have any value. Like, the maid of honor had decided she didn't have any value. First of all, the maid of honor, first of all, you attempted murder on a disabled kid and laughed about it. And then you decided she didn't have any value and she hated her so much. They ended up ruining her whole wedding. It was like I almost felt like I was watching the Carrie movie at one point. Like, they started, like, it was okay to see her. It was just awful. The whole thing was just awful.
Yeah, so it was definitely something that I didn't expect. So we all know we live in the United States, and actually we're filming this at the theater. So we're doing this kind of an impromptu filming, just so you know, so you might hear some noises and stuff like that. But here in the United States, we all know we have seen our fair share of school shootings over the years. So not knowing this going into it, if you didn't know this going into it, this could be a real issue for you. That's why I said trigger warning. And honestly, that's something that they probably should have put before the whole film began. Mm-hmm. Just letting you know that this film, like, you know, sometimes when you do something that, like, this has lights and stuff and it may cause seizures, like, just, you know, fair warning kind of a thing. It's really important.
It really is.
With that said, I'm looking at this as a film with a whole bunch of people that have a whole bunch of issues. And everybody's issues, one person thinks their issues aren't as bad as somebody else's. And like you said, with the bridesmaid, she literally locked a special needs kid inside
like an
abandoned room, and just left him there.
Like
and
an
didn't
RV
say anything
closet,
about it.
abandoned in the woods.
And to her, it was no big deal.
Yeah, and the kid could have died. And she never told where he was. They were looking for him. She just left him out there screaming.
But Zendaya's character she had thought about it. She thought better of it due to circumstances at that time when she was a teenager. And then she turned things around and she became a gun activist. But her fiance just really had a hard time getting past it and was having difficulty himself. A redeeming factor. Everybody's a former something. As a Christian, that's something that we say all the time. You don't come in here, the church doesn't look for people that are already healed. They're looking for people that are sick, and you're healed through your relationship with Christ. So you're a former something. In this film, everybody is pretty much a something, and they're a former something, and they don't want to be judged by that former something. And that ends up happening because we're human. The beauty of this film, because there was a moment I said to myself, I think I need to walk out of here. But we stuck through it, and it's tough. It was a tough watch. But at the end, and the beauty of it for me, and this is something that I really wanted to share with her, and I'm going to share it now, is there were 3 moments in the film when they wanted to start over. And this is something that I've said consistently about a story. A story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning of the film started off awkward, and it was a do-over. In the middle of the film, when they're starting to go through this drama, they try to do it, and it didn't happen. But it did happen at the end, in that he had difficulty getting past the issues that he saw with her, and she, quite honestly, could have done the same thing with him, and things that are literally happening at that time, not 15 years prior.
Right.
And she chose to still
be so gracious to him
and start over. Mm-hmm. And that was like this huge redeeming quality for me for the entire film. And you really had to sit through this to get it.
Right.
And if we hadn't sat through it, I wouldn't have got it. So it was a tough watch, and it was tough to get through.
And we would never watch it again.
But I'm glad that I did sit through it at the end, because I did get a little misty-eyed, because having gone through things in real life, forgiveness is not easy. Yeah. Forgiveness is tough, and especially when you go through stuff and you think that you will be able to handle something without ever having done it. And we've said this before, like, you listen to a song and you go, oh, I really like this song, but then when you go through a little bit of life, that song hits a little different. And it really says something for these characters that they're able to get past all of this drama and start over. I can't speak for the other characters in this film because they had all kinds of issues, and that was what it was. But it was all centered around these two characters, and that really made it for me. So I actually enjoyed the film more than I thought I was going to throughout the film because of the ending.
Yeah,
If that movie did not end that way,
that would have been awful.
my review would have been totally different. So that's how I feel about Drama.
All right.
That's all I got.
Let us know what you guys think.
We'll see you all next time at the movies. Or
Bye.
whatever.